Hello and welcome back to Competitive Crunch. My name is Spade, and it's a new year, but Smogon's banhammer swings the same, as Greninja has been banned from the Smogon overused singles metagame, and this will without a doubt upset a lot of people, because Greninja has a status as a starter Pokemon. Plus, it has a really cool visual design. It's a freaking ninja frog. So when Smogon bans something so cool and awesome, of course, a lot of people will get angry. But, of course, all this is completely irrelevant when we are looking at Greninja from the competitive perspective, and especially what Greninja is able to do in the singles metagame. And so, without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So, Greninja is known for its ability, Protean, which changes it to the moves type that it uses. Amazing ability which gives Greninja basically stab everything. Same type attack bonus for every single move that it has at its disposal. And coupled with its blazing speed of 122, it is able to outspeed the majority of the overused metagame. And also coupled with its amazing move pool, there are barely any Pokemon around that could take its hits. And let's actually look at some of the moves that Greninja has. On the special side, you got Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Dark Pulse, Extra Sensory, Hidden Power Fire, and Grass Knot. I guess you could also run HP Grass for Rotom Wash in particular. But anyways, on the physical side, you got Shadow Sneak, U-Turn, and the two new amazing moves, Gunk Shot and Low Kick. And especially Gunk Shot, when Greninja got that new move in Pokemon ORAS, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, through move tutors, that completely changed Greninja around. In the past, in the X and Y metagame, Greninja was known for its amazing special move pool, but that also meant that a lot of special walls were able to wall it, but that is no longer the case now with Gunk Shot and Low Kick, and especially defensive fairy types such as Clefable, Sylveon, and like Azumarill, which is known for using Assault Vest. There were really good ways to deal with Greninja in the past, but now with the introduction of Gunk Shot, those are not even checks. They have no way to switch into Greninja anymore. And this also makes it a lot more difficult for Pokemon such as Chansey. Chansey is probably, arguably, the best counter there is to Greninja, because it is so light that it doesn't take... Well, it takes up to like 40% from a low kick, so it can still kind of like wall it. Unless you're running like completely physical Greninja, which is not too common. So Chansey is still considered like one of the best checks / counters around to Greninja. But when Gunk Shot and Low Kick still do on an average like around 40%, that doesn't make it any easier for Chansey, especially when it has that Eviolite, no leftovers recovery, when you take Stealth Rock damage, plus you have a chance to get poisoned. Even Chansey is quite shaky of a way to deal with Greninja. Then there are Pokemon such as Porygon 2, but let's face it, P2 is kind of a sitting duck. It's not often seen in the overused tier metagame because it's set up for so many Pokemon. It can take hits, but it's not really able to dish out damage, and it's kind of a, just like I said, sitting duck. Pun definitely intended. So it's not seen that much. And then there's also Empoleon, but for that you got that Gunk Shot. Empoleon is, I believe, quite heavy enough, at least for Low Kick to do significant amount of damage. Plus it doesn't have reliable recovery. Then there are Pokemon such as Conkeldurr, Tentacruel, Mega Venusaur, Keldeo, which are often seen as ways to deal with Greninja, but of course all of those fear extrasensory, which is not that common of a move, but if we look at the usage stats, it's still seen around 27% of the time, so like every fourth Greninja that you see could be carrying it, plus that makes it so that those Pokemon, Conkeldurr, Tentacruel, Mega Venusaur, and Keldeo are, you know, only checks for Greninja. And so this amazing move pool, mixed offense, blazing speed, stab everything with Protean makes it so that there aren't really any counters, reliable counters around, apart from like Chansey and P2, but that's only like 2 Pokemon that can somewhat reliably deal with Greninja, and that's definitely not a good thing, and that really just limits team building, because you have to kind of prepare for it, but you really can't. And when you run an offensive team, the only way that you can deal with Greninja is by sacking a Pokemon, and if you're running a defensive team, you gotta run like 2 or 3 Pokemon that together can scout and, you know, then possibly take hits from Greninja, because you don't necessarily surely know, like, does it have that Gunk Shot? Usually it has Gunk Shot, but does it have, like, extrasensory or hidden power fire? Like, can a Pokemon like Ferrothorn wall it? So you have to do, like, bunch of pivot switching, and the problem is Greninja has such an amazing coverage at its disposal that it's, even for walls, it is difficult for them to repeatedly keep switching in to Greninja and just try and wall it. Not to mention you can just get predicted while you do this scouting. And this makes Greninja a really difficult Pokemon to be dealt with. But now let's look at the other side of the coin, so to speak. Why Greninja should not have been banned, and then let's compare the two sides, okay? Greninja has a 4-move syndrome, meaning that a lot of the times, you know, Pokemon like I mentioned, Conkeldurr, Tentacruel, Mega Venusaur, Keldeo, they can be used as counters/checks if it isn't carrying like extrasensory. But like I said, the scouting can be really difficult, and taking repeated hits from Greninja is also really difficult. And the thing with Greninja is that it can decide what are its checks, and then you can just build around it. You know, if like Mega Venusaur is a problem for your team, like then you can slap a like psychic Pokemon that can possibly deal with Mega Venusaur or something like that. But the problem with Greninja is that it can choose the Pokemon that it that can check it, and this is something that's not a lot of Pokemon are able to do. And then Greninja, it's really frail. It's really a glass cannon. But this argument also works the other way around. Everything against Greninja is frail. It is true that Greninja is paper thin, you know, even its weakest move from any Pokemon can really break it. Not to mention it is often seen carrying Life Orbs, so you can wear it down, but it can also wear down your teams, because there are really no counters for it that could 100% of the time stop it. The argument also works the other way around. Everything against Greninja is frail. And then there are the new Mega Pokemon. You know, there are lots of new Megas like Mega Beedrill, Lopunny, Sceptile that are faster than Greninja. So certainly they can check it, which is true. If they safely get a chance to Mega Evolve, they can check Greninja, but again, they are checks. Under no circumstance can those Pokemon safely switch into Greninja and take any of the hits. Not to mention, you know, it's not unheard of slapping a Choice Scarf on Greninja, so That's a thing too. So those new Mega Pokemon that are faster, there's still only ways that you can check it. And we are looking for ways that we could counter Greninja, not counters at all. And then last but not least, I mean, I guess we have to mention it, you know, people will bring this up, like, will Greninja do good in Ubers? And of course this is not a relevant argument when we are discussing Greninja, why it is broken in the overused tier. And even though Ubers is now made an official tier, it still practically works the same way as it did in the past, and how Greninja does in Ubers is completely irrelevant, because we are looking at things from what it can do to the overused metagame. We are not looking at what it can do in the Ubers tier. And Ubers is a metagame that is not dictated by usage anyways. So I mean, maybe Greninja will not be seen a lot in the Ubers tier, but like I said, that's not a relevant argument when we are discussing the destruction that it brings to the overused metagame. And now that I look at the two sides of the coin, I'm seeing way too many negatives about Greninja staying in the OU tier, so I think Smogon made the right call. And the voting was also pretty clear. 82% majority said ban Greninja. There were altogether, some people didn't vote in time, but there were altogether 249 votes, out of which 205 said ban Greninja and 44 people said do not ban it. So it was a clear vote, 82%, and I think it was the right call. Of course, you can leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and let me know if you disagree. So far in the past, nobody has disagreed with what I have said, but everyone who has still disagreed has just completely ignored all the points that I have brought up. So hopefully some of you actually listened through, and if you did, and if you still do disagree, definitely let me know in the comment section below. This is the way I see it, and I think it was the right call. Let me know in the comment section below, and I will check you guys next time. Until then, this is Spade rambling and signing out. Peace.